Hello and welcome to Love Anything Art. So glad to see you today. I have some fun projects for you today. I have about 4 of them. Oh yeah, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. My channel could really use some love. I am so glad you guys are here. I just wanted to show you this cute little ring. I've had it forever. It's a back profile of a cat and I just love cats. So I thought it was really cute. For the first idea, I'm going to be using some Premo translucent clay. Actually, I'll be using this for all of the projects today. You'll need a translucent clay and some ink. And this one has a little bit of spillage on there, but I'm not really worried about it because I'm going to cover it up. If it bothers you, you can just use fresh stuff. I'm going to roll that out and just condition it a little bit, get it all mixed up. Get it into a squarish kind of a shape. Cutting that into 4s so that I can apply my alcohol inks to them separately. I'm not using a lot in this because I'm going to be doing a lot of different projects. And I don't want a ton of scrap clay, which I do actually have a scrap clay project at the end or towards the end of this video for you, if you like scrap clay projects. I'll be using these inks in all of them, so just kind of pick out colors that you like. You could really experiment. On most of these, I'm kind of doing the same kind of color theme, like all blues and all reds, or lighter colors together, and then coating them in a darker color. You'll kind of see what I mean as I go along. But for this first one, I need 4 colors, and I'm going to choose some pinks and red colors. These are all of the colors if you are using these particular inks, so you can follow along if you want. I do have a link below if you are interested in purchasing these alcohol inks. I'm going to use this piece of paper to kind of catch some of the alcohol ink bleed over. If you guys have a good idea about how to kind of contain some of the messiness of it, I would love to hear from you. If you could just put a comment below, like how do you keep it all kind of together and keeping it from spilling over and just getting everything stained, or if there's just absolutely no way. Anyway, it would be fun to see what other people do. Of course, I protect my hands because this stuff gets everywhere. I'm putting a little dot in each of the little cup indents I made. Then I realized I probably put way too much in there. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that out. Mixing them up quite thoroughly. I'm going to run them through the pasta machine too once I kind of get an initial blend going up in my hands. These looked delicious. They looked like Starburst. I just loved the colors. It really made me want to go out and buy a pack of Starburst. Chopping each one of those up into little pieces. Have each of them chopped up and separated. I'm going to go ahead and just put a second coat on these, or maybe even a third coat, depending on what I like. You don't have to do this. It's just going to make it a little bit darker on the outside as opposed to the inside, but it's totally optional. And then I also want a very distinct like vein around the outside of each of these when I cut it open. So I'm choosing a darker color that'll be nice and contrasting to the pinks and reds I have currently. So I'm going to do blue. I've let them all dry, and now I'm just going to go ahead and mix those up really good. Some of the pieces stuck together and didn't get ink on them, but I'm not really worried about it. If you're worried about it, you can just take those pieces out. Just wanting to make sure I get a nice thorough blending of all of them since I can't see the colors underneath the blue. This was really pretty. It kind of reminded me of like pretty pebbles that are in the bottom of like a river. And they turned out really pretty inside. As you can see, it has that very distinctive vein running through it, and it kind of separates the colors. I don't know, I just like it. It kind of separates everything and gives everything a border and kind of makes it look like stained glass in a way too. Just burnishing all those pieces that I stuck together. And I rolled it through the pasta machine just a little bit at a time, going down one setting at a time. I'm going to use some scrap clay for the backing. You can use whatever color you want. I just have a ton of scrap clay and I'm really trying to work on incorporating it into my projects. So I just chose some lighter colors and I'm going to mix them up and kind of see what color I come up with. A lot of times I'll come up with really pretty color combinations. So this one's like a pinky purple kind of a color. I'm not quite sure which one I would define it as, but it looks good with this top piece. Looks like stained glass or broken glass. I just kind of like the way it looks. It looks kind of shattered and mosaic. These are the pieces I made. I am not going to show myself cutting out these shapes. I don't really feel like people want to see that part of it. It's just very basic shapes that I've cut out using circle cutters or paper cutters, so I just kind of cut out shapes for it. And these are the pieces I came up with for that. For the second idea, again, I'm going to be using some translucent clay. This one does have a little bit of ink that spilled on it, but again, I'm not worried about it because it's all going to be covered up and you're not going to really be able to see it anyway, so I'll be okay. This time, it's going to be a slight variation from the first one. I'm not going to blend the ink into the clay and work it out that way. I'm just taking it, I'm not conditioning it, just taking it straight off the block and cutting it up and then applying my inks. And I'm going to go with a different color theme here. I'm doing some pink, red, and a yellow color. Thought they would look nice together, nice bright festive colors for this hot summer occasion we're having. You could put as many colors in there as you wanted to. I just wanted to do 3. Coating each of those colors in the ink there. Using whatever tool you have to kind of mix it all around. I'm just using a paintbrush that I wipe off in between each of the mixings of colors. And then when you have them pretty good and coated, just kind of spread them out so that they dry a little bit faster. And that way you can kind of make sure you have everything coated, at least to the best of your ability. I have both of them done and they are dry. These look like rock candy. They look really pretty. I don't know. What do you think they look like? Maybe like little stones or gems or something. I'm going to put another coating on mine. You can put as many coatings as you want on yours or as little as you want on yours. Kind of experiment and play with it and have fun. All right, now I have all of my colors done and they are dry. So I'm going to go ahead and mix those together. And it looks quite pretty. I like that pop of yellow in there. Gives a nice contrast to the pink and the red. What were those candies called? They were like Juicy Fulls or Juice Fills or Juice Fold. I don't know. But that's what those kind of look like. They were like these little pockets of chewy candy that had like juice inside, or was more like a jelly. But anyway, I just shaved off the entire outside of this piece, and I'm going to use those in a project, and then I'm going to make bigger slices, and I'm going to use those in a project. These are those big slices. I'm going to set those aside and just kind of work on my first one. I kind of had a couple of different ideas like rolling through my head, so this was me kind of playing all that out. This is a really pretty gold color. You could use whatever color you wanted. I just thought it complemented the colors that were in the ink, in the clay. So these are really thin pieces that I shaved off. I'm just going to lay them on there like a veneer. And they're really thin, and the inside, it didn't have any of the alcohol inks mixed in, so you're going to get that gold color kind of from the back show through. So that's also why I chose the gold, because it would look good in the color combination here. You can just pinch it out between your fingers if it's a little bit too thick. You do want it to be rather thin. I'm going to also roll this out, so it's also going to thin it a bit thin too. This is the piece before I've burnished it or rolled it. Put it through the pasta machine, and this is it. And then for the next idea, and I'll show you what I cut out a little later. For this idea, just taking those big pieces, putting it together. Again, I'm going to put that on a backing. I'm choosing this pink color. It's just really pretty, like fuchsia kind of a pink. Putting my inked clay on top. Rolling that out. Not as thin as the other one, but definitely thinner than it is. And these are the pieces I made from those. This is that second one I just did. I had a little something on there. And there's another one down there at the bottom on the left from it. And then this is from that first one with the gold backing. I will bake those. And then for the next idea, I want to use up the scraps from this project. That's kind of my goal in my projects from now on. When I get done with a project, I am going to make something from all of the scraps so that I don't have anything left and I can start using from the scrap pile that I have, which is this stuff. And I have plenty more where that came from. So I'm just going to take that and kind of mix it up and make a color like I did earlier. And my screen, for some reason, was moving around like a ghost. I don't know what was going on there, but sorry. And this is the pretty color. It came out with a more purple color than the previous one, which was like a pinky purple. But nevertheless, this is quite a pretty color. It looks good with the clay that I'm going to put on top. And then these are the scraps from the two pieces I did. I'm really just going to kind of smush them together and put them on top of each other, and you could do whatever. You could chop yours up if you wanted to, but I want to keep them flat so that they still kind of have the pretty patterns that were on it, and kind of just make them a little bit flatter. Stacking them on top of each other, just kind of playing with this to see what comes out. You never know. You start watching somebody do something and it sparks something in your mind and you're like, oh, you know what I should do? This. It would look so much better. And I encourage that. You should totally do that. If you think something looks better or would work better, you should totally do that. I have that piece all rolled out and kind of burnished. I'm going to pinch off little pieces, and then I'm going to start stacking them side by side, slightly overlapping in between. I do want that color underneath to come out and like push out over the sides, so it kind of frames each of these pieces that I'm ripping off and stacking. You want to make sure that it kind of has a little bit of it popping over the side, and I'll show you here in a close-up. And you want the edges to come up and out, the backing anyway, so that when you stack them on top of each other, it's not the same color being put over the same color. The backing pushes out and acts as a border or a vein in between each of those. You'll see there, you can see the gold just running throughout it. The back is kind of pretty too, so on this one you could probably decide which side you wanted, but I'm going to ultimately go with the front because it's got way more going on and I like that. I just chose a pretty color that looked good in contrast to it, which is just this green color. You can choose any color you want. Gonna roll that out a bit thinner. And then for that other one, I'm gonna do the same thing. I had rolled it out really thin. Just ripping off pieces, making sure the backing pops out and along the sides there so that I can stack them together. And it kind of looks like a rippled water wave, or like you're looking at like some kind of ocean or looking at something through water. I don't know. That's what it kind of looks like to me, but to each his own. Putting that on the purple backing once I have that all together. And these are the finished products of each of those. Came out really nice. I like all of the gold in between each of the little sections. And I really like this. Each of them is pretty in its own way, I think. I will cut out shapes and bake these also. And these are all the finished products. These are actually the ones I did before I ever started filming this video, and I was testing out some stuff. So I thought they came out really pretty. I don't know, they look like candy. Everything looks like candy in this video. I think I need to go eat some candy. And then this is from that other project right after that with the gold going through it and the green backing. And you can see the green on the sides. This is actually a hollow piece I made. If anybody's interested in a video on that, if I get enough responses, then I'll make a video. But if not, then it's just a hollow piece. And then again, this one's a hollowed piece too that I made. And I only made one piece. And this looks like a piece of lava or something. And this one really, really toned down once I baked it. This is the one that had the yellow in it. So it very much went neutral after I baked it. But of course, I did let it sit there for like a week before I baked it. I know, life gets in the way and you just can't do things. And I got a little something on there, but you know what? I think it looks fine. I really like the way all these came out, honestly. And then this is the one that looked like stained glass. I really like the circular ones. And there's a little triangle square shape to the side, but I really like the circle ones the best. Please let me know which one of these projects you liked the best, if you plan on making any of these projects. And also, I do have a second channel where I make food. So if you want to check that out, there's always a link in the description box below. And who doesn't like food? I like food. You like food. We all need food. And it's kind of fun. You get to see my kitchen. I don't know if that's important to anybody. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it inspires you to make all of the wonderful pieces. Take some time for yourself today and make something pretty. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!